Hey, on this edition of Random Thoughts, first of all, before just saying, hey, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well today. Anyway, back to this. On this edition of Random Thoughts, I want to talk about where we choose to spend money. We all know what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, and the US government has decided to send aid to them in the billions. That's right, billions with a B. And it's funny how politicians can come together to send all this money and aid across the world to other countries and yet struggle even to pass bills to forgive student debt or raise the minimum wage. And mind you, the amount needed to do that would be less than what we're sending overseas. I would like to solely blame the Republicans as they like to position themselves as morally superior, yet hate to do for people who can't immediately repay them. It's not how do you say expedient. They're not going to get something back. As far as money or whatever, they're not going to do it just because it's the right thing to do. Um, their ideas of doing things that are quote unquote the right things to do um, is as I said, it's nothing more for them to pat themselves on the back and doesn't really cost them anything. Um, Such as the whole thing with Roe v. Wade, it doesn't cost them anything to do this. It will cost other people, but it's not going to cost them. Um, However, there are more than enough Democrats who either hold up progress or just talk about doing progressive or popular things as if they can't change it. It's easy to talk about. Okay, we're going to get together, we're going to do a vote, and everybody's going to see who's for or who's against something, knowing good and well if there are ways to push things through. There are ways, there have been opportunities to when they also had control of the House and Senate to where they could have gotten things done and they were too afraid to do so, um, to wield the power that the people gave them. Now, this isn't to say that we shouldn't help, but why is it that we're so quick to jump to others while ignoring problems we've had for years here? As we've seen during the pandemic, there are plenty of issues with the workforce that we've had for decades. And then you have people in the media gaslight as if we haven't known about said issues and that there aren't underlying factors for people not wanting to return to those toxic environments, such as, well, what we keep seeing is like, oh, it's hard to find jobs, it's harder to do this and that. Like, no, we during the pandemic, a global health crisis. We have people who had to shut down, who may have gotten sick or whatever the issue was. The issues that came up, as I said, we've known about, like not having adequate health care, not jobs not providing adequate time off for various issues. And then, things are starting to open back up and people saying, well, people just don't want to work. It's like, no, we've had a chance to see that these things aren't working and they haven't been working and we could fix them. And as I said before, we've had time to fix them. And now they can no longer just play dumb as if they don't know that these issues happen. But yet they still want to act like, oh, well, people just don't want to work. It's like, no, they want to work. The benefits of working should match. People shouldn't have to work multiple jobs. Grown people shouldn't have to work multiple jobs just to live, just to still be living paycheck to paycheck. Um, and I would once again money. They had the child tax credit, giving out a few $100s or whatever. And I'm not talking about the big checks, but it's a few $100s a week for people. That helped so many people with childcare. That brought so many people out of help with not child poverty, but child starvation. That extra $300 a month really helped people in a way that For them to get that extra money from their job, they would have to work more hours than it's probably healthy for them to work, or may not even be able to work because they may have younger kids and have no health care. I mean, no daycare to help take care of them, and that helped so much. And it also showed, oh, so if need be, you guys could do this. We're not asking to turn into a welfare state. We're just saying if it is within your power to help people who are legit hurting, then do it. But they're crying so much. Well, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for that? You don't question that when we're adding billions to the military every freaking year. You don't worry about how we're going to pay for that. We have our military is well funded, and it's not like we're just saying, "Oh, we're going to give them so and so." No, it's additionally additional billions, additional billions to help the military. It's like, okay, fine. So you want to give them the military? Okay, cool. Well, once again, they try to trick you into saying, "Oh, well, if you don't support the military." Cool. How many bills have you guys introduced to deal with them when they are no longer fighting your wars? When they come back and they have to settle into civilian life, and then they have to deal with mental issues, health, physical issues. So you want them to go out and fight everywhere around the world, then come home, and then the people, or while they're doing that, their loved ones may not have, or people that they know, because families, at least what I think I know for the most part, are taken care of to an extent. But you have, they come home, they probably can't get a job, they can't. But there's all these other issues at home that we can take care of, that we can solve, that we can at least try to deal with, but they choose not to because it would actually cost something. It would actually require them to do something other than being obstructionists. It would take more than lip service. Now, you'll see and hear so many things about how it's not just what people say, but what they do that you should focus on. This is true with my issue right now, what I'm talking about. They say they want to help and they want to make America great again, yet will actively stand in the way of progress and the benefit of overwhelming number of Americans. I think about here in St. Louis and how they want to move the homeless people who live in tents downtown. I want to say they even call it like Tent City or something. We have so many empty buildings here, and it seems like it would be easy to use to set up some funds to set up something so that they can go there, because they don't actually care about them being homeless. They just don't want them in the way because it's downtown. It's like, okay, all these buildings, set up something so they can go there. They can stay there and it'll be easier. They don't have to worry about them being out there in the rain, or you can have them be there. Set up some fun, set up something so they can go there. And maybe hopefully if they have some stable conditions, they can try to get themselves back on their feet. Hell, if you want to, you can have them go there and then hire them to do the upkeep for the buildings. Have some classes so they can, you know, maybe get back into the workforce if they've been out for a long time. Get them up on some computer skills. Have them answer phone calls. Have them be in a call center. Do something. But no, they just want to move them. Like, okay, then where they're going to go? We're seeing so many laws and so many things about taking things away from people or doing certain things with people, and they don't have an alternative for what to do afterwards. They don't have like, okay, well, what are they supposed to do now? Oh, well, or as a lot of politicians are to do. They have it to where it's a morality issue. It's an issue of your character if you don't have as much money as they do. If you don't have enough money to do certain things, when a lot of people, as I said, a lot of people have more work ethic, but they just weren't, you know, born to a rich family. And once again, not asking the government to just take care of everything for us. We're not asking for, government to just give welfare to everybody. However, if there are rules and certain things set up to where it's only oppressing people, to where it's to the detriment of a majority of people, then maybe we should change those rules. We can't whine about, want to get people back out there, want to get people. It's like, okay, well, if they don't have any, but to browbeat people and to talk about them, but then it's within your power to help them. The people who's actually paying taxes, tax paying people. Like, okay, we're going to use this to actually benefit people. But they don't want to do that. Bottom line, with all the things our tax dollars go to, it'd be nice if it was to benefit the people who live here before we spend billions on another country, and then question how we're going to provide basic care for our people. It seems like an easy way to make America great. Uh, Thank you for listening to this random thoughts. If you want to check out my longer form podcast, you can check it out. Bold Expressions with Carl. That's on Spotify. I was going to say Instagram. That's on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts can be found. Um, Thank you for checking this channel out. I would appreciate it if you would check out some more things. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know uh, if you agree, give thumbs up, whatever. If you don't, if you think that there's something I'm missing, hey, let me know that too. I am quick to say I don't know everything. I am not nearly smart enough to know most things, but give me your thoughts. Uh, have a good day. Love you.